We actually came here 7 years ago, but we spent our first few years just really trying to figure out where things were going, what the directions were. We did purchase with a group of investors all the land here on the waterfront that was available, and did a master plan. But as economy changed, our master plan kind of changed with it. We just kind of waited to see, what were the demands for the area. When we first named the first restaurant as Al's Landing, my partner Stan and I sat down and said, okay, what is it that we want to say about this? And at that time, the city had just passed the golf cart ordinance. They were working on bringing the train in. They had just got the seaplane ramps in and the FAA approvals for the runways. And I said, well, they're trying to create a multimodal town. You can come in by a seaplane, you can come in with a boat, you can come in on a train, you can come in on a golf cart. And he looked at me and he said, Al's. And I said, who's Al? He goes, Al's, air, land, and sea. You can arrive by air, land, and sea. And I said, you know what? That says it all. That really is what the town is creating, and it's a theme. We've gone with the theme, and the theme has worked out wonderful. Of course, people call me Al, but they do the same thing, and that's okay. I answer to it. It's not a problem. The biggest part of the change has been the residential component in it. Obviously, the residential condo market and the office complex market is not as strong now as it was 7 years ago. We've leaned a little more towards the commercial division, the restaurants, the hotels. In our original plan, all these buildings that are hotels right now, we're leaning more to be in residential condos. But with what the city did and how they have worked with us in creating this downtown entertainment district and this beautiful marina, it just made sense to move forward with the restaurants and more of the entertainment level of the complex first, and the residential components will come at a later point. The recession definitely affected how we did business here, for sure. It's funny, everybody says where's the bad and where's the good, and the really great thing about this area and what's happened here is the good outweighs the bad. We have a city that understands business, so even though the recession affected everybody and everything, that doesn't matter who you are, when you have a city that understands the recession, understands what they need to do to help you, and takes the attitude, what can we do as a team to move this forward, it makes it easier to make the right decisions and move forward. For us to build a building like this right here, a combination of county and city impact fees is around $200,000. You put that into the mix of what you need to get for a daily rate, it just doesn't work. Economy says that these people can't pay the rent in order to cover your cost to build. And if you can't cover your cost to build, then why are you building? You don't necessarily at this point expect to make a profit, but you at least expect not to lose money on a daily basis and keep going. You just can't do it. It doesn't work. But I think even bigger than that was the fact that their attitude was, as I had said earlier, what do we do to help you be successful? So when you're building, where we've come from areas like Fort Lauderdale and most other cities, it seems like everything you try to do, the city permitting, the inspectors, the city officials fight you, and it's like you're wrong and you have to prove you're right versus right and prove you're wrong. Here, what they've done is they've sat down with you as a team member and say, okay, here's what code says, we need to follow that. But how can we make things easy for you to meet those codes? How can we work with you? If economy says, you can only spend, for round numbers, $100,000 on this, let's find a way that you can work with this $100,000, meet your codes, and get yourself built. I think they've done temporary waivers, not really waivers, but deferment on permit fees, for example. Permit fees for a building like this is $45,000. Well, you know, up front you might not have that 45 because you need to put that 45 into your construction costs. Before you get your CO though, you have to pay that 45, you know. So deferring costs like that helps you get your building up and helps you move to the next step. So there's a lot of little things that the city has done on that aspect. I live here. I'm a part of the community. I love the community. You know, our investment partners don't live here. They've been spending more and more time here because they're starting to fall in love with it like we do. But you know, when you've got people investing money in your town, it's kind of blind faith, you know, and I really had to sell them, you know, indirectly, you know, on the fact that this is where this town is going and the potential of this town. Well, hopefully within the next 5 years, our complete master plan is built out. Like I said, we've built the first building, which we have the 2 restaurants in. We built the 3rd building, which has our 3rd restaurant, the barbecue, in. 4th building here is our hotel, and we have the retail and restaurants on the 1st floor. Our next building is another hotel building with more retail and restaurant space on the 1st floor. Each building is going 1 floor higher. We've got a 1-story, we've got 2 2-stories, we've got a 3-story, that one's a 4-story. We are moving forward now across the street, which originally we had a 14-story tower. It had a lot of office space, a lot of residential condos. We don't feel right now the economy is worthy of that. So we're doing another building similar to what we've got behind us here, which will be 5 stories. It will have a combination of retail on the 1st floor and once again condos and a mix of residential in it. We're taking our 2-bedroom, 2-bath suites and deeding them separately so people can purchase them if they like, which will allow us to test the residential market. And then our next building will be 6 stories, and that will be mostly all condo. We feel by that time the market will bear it. We do have a lot of people asking us, and it's just a matter of, is the economy ready for them to actually purchase yet? You know, obviously the event season is not a real long season. The event season pretty much covers March, April, and May. The city's been working with us on expanding those events out, starting some in February, extending some into June. Of course, then you have your good old standby of 4th of July. And then after that, the event season pretty much dies off. So, you know, we do need to still have business and create business outside of the events. However, everything the city has done with the events, with the seaplanes, with the trains, creates business. We're working with a seaplane company now, the Jones Brothers. They have packages when you come in to get certified. You know, your hotel is included, your breakfast and everything as a package with that. Every time the train comes through, the train has been an incredible economic developer. They seat 150 people. Every time that train comes through full, there's a percentage of those people that stop in every one of the restaurants in town. The events, this is going to be the first year for the hotel to be open during the events. I mean, our restaurants have always done extremely well during all the events, but you know, we have found that, for example, the Sunnyland Antique Boat Show, this hotel is already sold out. New Year's Eve, we were sold out. We have probably about halfway to being sold out on the Dragon Boat Festival and the Classic Race Boat Regatta. We are hoping to have the next building open for the key events in March, which is why they're working on a Sunday. They've been working 7 days a week, and they are right on schedule and meeting all the deadlines. By the end of 5 years, we've created a major resort. That's really the direction we're going. I think, you know, we've got the entertainment district itself that the city has, and we do promote not just our own restaurants and business, we promote all of the restaurants on the strip. But within that entertainment district, we've got a resort where you will have, by the time we're done, you know, 50+ rooms, plus residents living there, multitude of restaurants. We're creating a swimming pool area that will overlook the lake, and hopefully we'll take that to the next level and put a club membership for it. You have the boat tours, the seaplanes, the trains. So when you come here, it's kind of like a mini Disney. You know, you have a lot of things to do, a beautiful water view, And every one of the rooms in the hotel have balconies overlooking the water and the lake. So the ultimate result is a mini resort within the entertainment district.